Hello. It's me. Hello. Void. It's me. Hello. Void. It's me. Hello. Void. It's me. Hello. Void. I knew this would go wrong. I knew this would go wrong in some way. But I have prepared a special presentation. And it's a special presentation about me, myself, TheCooldudetony, Void Productions. I've went through other names, but I'm going to go through that here. And I've had a lot of history. I've had a lot of it. And I've listed some things. I've listed a lot of things, but there are some stuff that is not on here, and I'll talk about that too. This took me quite a bit to make, and as you can see from the description and the name of the slide, there will be a surprise at the end, but I won't get into that. So, let's go into the slideshow. So, this is TheCooldudetony / Void Productions throughout the years, or in this case, who is TheCooldudetony? Why is it TheCooldudetony? Where did I come from? Who in the hell am I? Let's get on with it. Chapter 0, before TheCooldudetony. And it started way back around, I'd say, 2012 or 2013. I think I was pretty active back around 2012. And I'll give you a fun fact that I haven't listed here. I made an animation on GoAnimate. I'm not kidding. So, I can't really find out where it is, but way back when GoAnimate was a thing, before it got called Beyond, I used GoAnimate, and I only made like two animations on there, or GoAnimate videos on there, because they're not really videos. But yeah. But anyway, I really wanted to make animations back around those years, and I barely knew what the word animation meant, and all I knew was to search up how to make a cartoon on Google. When I was in school, I've learned of a program called Toontastic. It was a program at the time for making cartoons by simply dragging drawings and making short stories with them, but I only had that app for I only used it like once or twice for one of my first projects. I think I made like one project with it, and then I kind of dumped it because I never really used it much, because there was another animation tool that I used most of the time, Flipnote Studio. It was Nintendo's animation app, and I wanted to use it. I wanted to use Flipnote Studio 3D, but it wasn't out apparently, so I used an old DSi. From there, I'd make history. I wanted to make a series with them called the AFB Heroes. It would be a superhero show about me and one of my old friends, or Lee and Joe when I wanted to rename them. And I had the show conceptualized since the second grade. Yeah, it's been that long. Finally, I can be able to make a show, with limitations of my lacking animation skills and no music and sound effects, so I basically had to make my own music and sound effects with my mouth. The series would go on from 2013 to mainly 2014. I tried to return it to around 2017 and even 2019 with some animation concepts, but I never came back to it and abandoned it shortly after. the premise of the show that we don't even do superhero stuff. I'm technically the main character. I forgot to mention here, but I'm the one with the, like in the thumbnail you can see, or if you go into Void's Archive Dump 2, you can see that I have more dark circles around my eyes because I thought that was cool. And technically I was named Anthony at first, but then I wanted to rename myself to Firebolt because I wanted to develop CBT Adventures more because I had fire powers, and yeah. But we don't even do superhero stuff, but rather we do lessons, which basically it'd just be doing random stuff like escaping a house or eating a pie eating contest, or basically just watching TV. I said that backwards, but I also created another show called The Chance of Being Sticked, which was another show that I made, which is a stick figure. It was a stick figure show. It lasted only a couple months with very few episodes, and only one episode in late 2000. It had one episode back around in 2015. I forgot about that. It's supposed to be 2015 there, but I mistyped. That could be an occurring thing here, but I can correct myself. Again, like AFP Heroes, I tried to return to it with an animation, but it was incomplete and left in the dust. Technically, they weren't really complete, but more so I didn't, like originally, after I finished the so-called animation, I was supposed to voice them, but I never did that. I mean, I actually did get one AFP Heroes animation done, but we'll get into that later. For a while, I haven't used Flipnote Studio because I wanted to do YouTube and do gaming videos, which is what I did in the second half of 2014. Chapter 1, The Lost Beginning, and I'll tell you the reason why, which I've been wanting to tell you properly for so long. In 2014, I made a channel called Tony Gaming, which a year or a couple months later, I wanted to rename it to just TheCooldudetony, but since the Google Plus thing was new at the time, and new YouTubers had to basically name them by like a more formal name, like two names, like John Williams or something, for example. But I didn't want to name myself like my real name. I don't want to have my real name, so I had a Tony Gaming for a while, but then YouTube lended me the option to name myself another name and one name. So I would name myself. I was originally going to call myself TheCooldudetony, but YouTube didn't allow me to do that. So it gave me the option, TheCooldudetony. So in that year, in 2014, it was just a gaming channel and not much else at the time. One of my first videos was an MS Paint drawing of myself in Minecraft form with a Marley's ghost skin because I thought that was the coolest thing ever, announcing my channel's creation and what to play. I also made an animation and paint of me and my older friend. Like, I had an old friend at the time, I don't talk to them anymore. I had it when it was me and him having a picnic when a cow ate our food. Yeah, that was it. I made videos of me mostly playing Minecraft, Disney Infinity, Octodad, and online and mobile games. I also had channel events like Blocktober and Glowember, but they were mostly a part of my channel banner. I only made a video on Blocktober. I just thought it was cool to have seasonal things in channels. It was kind of a thing at the time. But also, another thing that I wanted to bring up, but I forgot, is that I wanted to make t-shirts and have merch. And I used Spreadshirt to want to like make shirts. because Spreadshirt was popular at the time for YouTubers. In the same year, I made a channel called Tony the Gamer, which only one video was posted, and it was like another MS Paint animation or slideshow. Yeah, it was a step down because there wasn't animation in the first place. In a year before, I made footnotes with more frames moving. Yeah, up here was more like, it was more animated than this. Can't really animate and paint. It's just it's basically baby's first steps into drawing. Around the end of 2014, I discovered a channel. Or wait, actually no. I think it's been a while ever since I discovered this channel called The 64th Gamer, or Gaming, before they deleted everything, in which he made gaming animations based off Game Grumps and Stamping Longhead, which I was mostly a fan of Stamping Longhead, but Game Grumps, I liked the animations, and especially his animations. Somewhere down the line, I found out about the program he used, which turned out to be a program called Animation Creator HD. I wasn't a pro at it, and for a short couple months, I was getting the hang of its UI and how things work. Also around the time, I had an iPad for about a year when I was younger, which meant I had the access to another program which helped me, iMovie. It was a very basic editing program for the iPad, which was good for amateurs like me when I first started using it. So it was my second editing program. I forgot to mention, my first editing program was Windows Movie Maker. In 2015, I made my very first actual animation, How to Survive 7 Nights at Freddy's. It's based off Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and it was just me completing the 7th night in the ways you beat the game. I also had different colored hair, but we'll get into that later. And from then on, I solely made animations. From then, my channel better slogan was animations and gaming alike. And this is like, these are like one of the only sorts of proof that I had on my channel, but we'll get into that later. I also made more FNAF videos and Angry Birds video. I think I listed this twice, but continuing to make gaming videos, but one animation series that stuck with me since. Chapter 2, the start of TheCooldudetony's adventure. Around February, I made an unnamed series, which then later decided to be named CDT Adventures. From the FNAF 2 video, I had brown hair, but changed it to be like a more, I'd say blonde, or I'd say dirty blonde, or whatever it's called. But I had like more lightish brownish hair. I drew this because this is how I was exactly depicted in the animations. This was in a later drawing, but I'll explain that later. I just like the idea of having a different colored hair. I really like the idea of having like blonde or brown hair, but later I just have black. It was unnamed for the rest of its runtime, and would even have its name revealed later down the line, I think. I'm not exactly sure when I named it CDT Adventures. I think it was in 2015, though. It wasn't revealed until 2016, but it lasted like a couple months with 16 short episodes. Most of them would be a couple of seconds long, so they were pretty short. The basic premise was that I had an error ghost on my computer, so me and my friends run away from it. That's the simplest explanation of what it's about. So strap tight, everyone. We're about to explain the full plot, to the best of my knowledge, but we'll get into that later. Episode 1 through 3, a Minecraft error. Yeah. I used a lot of copyrighted things for my series. The best I know of what happened was that I was in a lab and found a red ghost called the Error Ghost, to which he wanted to delete me. I'm guessing that was the first episode because I forgot what happened in episode 2 or 3. There was a lot of episodes that I forgot the premise of. I remember a lot of episodes, but all some of them no, unfortunately, because it's been so long. But episodes 4 to 6, camping, phones are out, and ghosts. Me, Francisco, Elvin, and two girls, which I will not name here for a private reason, and I'd rather not say in general. We're exploring and messing around and camping. I can deeply remember in episode 4 or 5 that we turn into ghosts for no reason. In one of them, Aragos goes inside the tent, and me and I think in Francisco's head too, but we defeat him somehow. I remember when one of Aragos' lines, to which I still remember deeply, was, "I am stronger now." He also said something about the Super Bowl for some reason. Yeah, a lot of these episodes, I wasn't even a football guy. I just said, oh, there's a Super Bowl, because, I don't know, there was a bonus episode where one of the characters, like the girl characters, is singing in a horrible way. I think she also breaks the camera, but I don't know. Episode 7, Arcade. I suppose not much happens besides that we're in an arcade. I don't really recall what happens here, to be honest. Episode 8, The Agreement. Aragos apparently turns a new leaf, and him and I shake hands. This is the most that I remember. Episode 9, Special Designs. It got washed. I'm guessing Aragos made new robot versions of us, or has upgraded us, and then he gets hit. I don't know. I can't recall if they get hit with water. Episode 10, Getting Superpowers. Can't remember besides the title. I mean, I can't really be for sure. I guess we got upgraded again, but I'm not sure. But in episode 11, Traveling Inside the Xbox, this is where things get twisted and weird. Me and my friends are in a car or ship, and then we go down a road where it leads to some sort of portal, which takes us out from inside an Xbox, or outside. And then, afterward, we get teleported to another dimension, which is my room in real life at the time. It was my room in real life, and we were trying to escape it. Also, fun fact, I put a person from school at the time on there for my friends to laugh at. Just like a cameo for one of my friends to laugh at. Yeah. Frankly, this series was just made for us at the time. Episode 12, The Terrible Two Mobs. Me and my friends go down a stream of river, then go in a Minecraft village and stay there for a night. While that happens, two Minecraft mobs talk to each other loudly. I'm not sure if we beat them for being loud. Two fun facts, one of my old friends from then they were sad that they didn't get included in the series, so I included them in the series for 1 second. I remember when in that episode I made Elvin eat a sandwich. In episode 3, Golden Freddy and Old Robot Tony. Yep, that was the title, though that's unfortunately what I could get the premise out of. I'm guessing there was an older robot version of me, and Aragos is Golden Freddy from FNAF now. I had a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's references. Episode 4T, NP. I unfortunately don't know the presence of this. I can't... like, from the name NP, if I were to watch the episode, I probably would assume what the acronyms would mean, but... yeah, I don't know. My friend thought it was good, though. I think it was Elvin. Episode 15, Pink. Pink Ghost was a ghost that was on our side, and she was going to help us. But yeah, this was the most I could get, though I'm not sure if this was actually happened in this episode. In episode 16, the final episode, I specifically remember this one out of all of them. I'd say I remember this one the most. So I guess in the beginning, Pink Ghost takes a ship that's shaped like a sphere, and then and they fight Eric goes to the top of the building. He tries to get his hat but falls because he's Golden Freddy. He drops his hat off of the building. And how he lost is that he tried to get his hat, but then he fell off the building. That's Golden Freddy. I look at him from down there, and then he turns to his ghost form and pushes me off the building. And I can't be for certain. In this episode, Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy brings me back to life or resurrects me or something. I can't really be for sure. I get sent to a hospital, and a new character friend at the time, which I was a character from. It was a person I've been friends for a long time, but I don't talk to anymore. I included them for like 1 second, and then the whole story ends. So that's kind of the gist of it. More fun facts. In one of the episodes, because I don't remember which one it was, there was a trial going on featuring video game characters like Octodad berating Alex from Minecraft for being a girl. Yeah. Every time a character gets introduced, their name would pop in white text with an iMovie ping sound effect. I specifically remember one scene where I had to enter some password, and I animated up fading in and out animation, which I was so proud of at the time. I made an unfinished season 2 trailer, which I made 2 characters: a Sassard Ghost, a tall blue ghost, and Bluetooth, to which he can scan himself in certain situations. I don't know, man. I thought it was cool. Yeah. Chapter 3: The Downfall. So again, after the unnamed series was finished, I made some gaming videos. Like, I played Agario because it was popular at the time, and Roblox, and of course Minecraft on the Xbox, to be exact, along with some animations. Again, like an Angry Birds parody and follow-up, and I made a follow-up to the first animation I made on YouTube, 7 Nights. My first real animation, not the trash one. The premise of that one from 2014, that Men's Paint one I explained a while back. It was me and the old friend I had at the time just talking, and then he saw a guy eating from the trash, so I went to see, and it turns out the guy was connected to the trash can and getting food out of there. Yeah. But this was a sequel to the 7 Nights at Freddy's video, except it's themed around 5 Nights at Freddy's 3. One of my last videos were short news videos, which were videos of me talking about my channel and what to do with it. My last video was called Vote Now, because I did want to make a season 2, and it was a vote between 2 characters. I wasn't that active on my channel after I made the animations because I was focusing on school and I didn't know what to do with my content. Make a season 2? Do more gaming videos? No. I didn't do either of those things. In the end of 2015, or more specifically, like when I was starting school at the time, like it was in the beginning of school, I thought it was so great of me to do to what I believe is the worst decision I've made in my entire life. Every other personal mistakes that I've made throughout my years, this cannot be beat. So, from the time, I believed my videos weren't good enough, so I deleted them for a very short bit. I thought it was fine for at least I'd say a couple weeks, or I'd say even a couple months. But that turned out to be a grave mistake. I've been really distraught for years, and I wanted to recreate the shorts over and over, but I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get it over with. It was gone, and it was my decision. I deleted the channel, and it's over. There's no going back. And to make things worse, my iPad was factory resetted for a private reason, so I couldn't retrieve it, and I got mad. But it felt like there was no use afterwards because TheCooldudetony was gone. I think beforehand I had a couple of my videos archived, but I only had archived one, which was the Five Nights at Freddy's video. I had an Octodad Let's Play and even the final episode of CDT Adventures from then, but I didn't archive them because it wouldn't feel complete, so what was the point of archiving them? I don't know if I factory resetted the iPad again or if it was just once. In the very end of 2015, I made a channel called XG a Lot. I only had 4 videos, which were just gaming videos on Retron 3, which I got for my birthday at the time. I was just playing the very, the most basic games that every retro gamer knows, like Sonic 2 and Super Mario World. Yeah, only those videos consisted of just those games. I had I had 4 videos. I really do miss TheCooldudetony. It's been a long time ever since I deleted it. And since it's 2024 as of the making of the stream, it's been like 9 years since the channel was around from then. So basically a long ass time. I do miss XG a lot too, but not as much as my TheCooldudetony channel, frankly. It's not like I was really thinking about XG a lot religiously, like with TheCooldudetony. I went silent for, I'd say, 4 months or 5 months. I was mostly just focusing on school and not much else. But on April 25th of 2016, I wanted to come back to YouTube under a returning name in the start, which was TheCooldudetony 2.0. And okay, this was in a video I put in the archive dub in the first one, where I made a video of all the versions of me, including Firebolt, the Minecraft version of me, Tony the Gamer, the old TheCooldudetony animations, and this was a version of me from then where I drew myself like this in an old profile picture, though I can't find that. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna guess it's gone. So, whoops. So chapter 4, TheCooldudetony 2.0. Yeah, 2.0. Returning to YouTube. I didn't really have much at the start, though I had some gameplay videos from my phone. And I didn't really do much animation videos at the time, like from 2016. I also have videos of me playing on an SNES. Yeah, it was the only gaming videos I made was me playing on my SNES emulator, which I mostly remember, and also me playing on Mario Paint. Though I named my channel TheCooldudetony 2.0 from the start. It didn't last for long. I then changed it to Wheelchair Mario for, I'd say, about like 1 or 2 years. I'd say about 1 year. I started making meme videos from them, and rarely any gaming videos. I didn't do gaming videos up until that point. But we'll talk about that later. Later, that was about to change. But before we get into that, let's discuss more about the channel. When I announced that I wanted to make my channel into an animation channel, I renamed it again to CDT Animates. I mostly made animation videos now, after the name change. I had made meme videos from time to time, though not as much. I made a website with Google Sites, which talked about my projects, but I shut it down in 2018. I wanted to make, oh yeah, you know what? I still have the website. I could show you it, but that would interrupt the flow of this video, so I wanted to make an animation based off my Flipnote series, and I still have the picture on DeviantArt. Yeah. My old DeviantArt is still floating around about somewhere. I can still find it easy. And it would be the characters. So they find the box. I think I animated the first part where the AFP heroes, they get transported into, like, they started in their Flipnote form. And I even made a trailer for it too. But basically what happens is that they get transported into a world from their Flipnote versions into, I was gonna animate it in Animation Creator HD, but it got cancelled, and I'll explain further later. I made a series called CDTN, which is called CDT. It's TheCooldudetony News for the long name, and it was a news series talking about my projects and my life. It lasted for 10 episodes and spiraled downhill, and I made a joke video which ended it all. I also wanted to make a game, and it was called CDT and Friends All-Stars Tournament. It would be like Super Smash Brothers, but that didn't turn well either. And I was gonna make the game in GDevelop, but since my very lacking brain didn't know how to do anything in that program, I pretty much just canceled the program. I made a separate channel for meme purposes and other things called Wheelchair Mario. It's still floating out and about. I forgot to archive those videos, to be honest, but oh well. Around the end of 2017, I made an account on Vidly, a platform like YouTube, or was known as the old and better YouTube, or the better version, because mainly just because of nostalgia, and I wanted to join in. I even made a video about it, and I have fun with like making my very own theme too. It was a time. There was a lot of stuff going on in Vidly from when it was created, but it's still flown around about. It's just very dead. Nobody goes on it anymore. That's probably gonna die out soon. It's zombie as of now, but who knows whether it'll be a shutdown. Let me just fix my pillow real quick. Yeah, I'm doing this all on my bed. I do all of my streams on my bed, you know, just to be comfortable. Probably it's a bad idea that I said that. Alright. My channel had like 2 or 3 videos uploaded from in 2018. I explained this like again, but yeah, I made 2 or 3 videos uploaded from that year. In 2018, I forgot to mention that, which is just me with a short haircut version of me making an announcement of my game. Then the next video being that I'm canceling everything. The last name of the channel before it went from being called Empty Void from 2019 because I transferred to here in this channel, and then blank was called Hardy Har Har Man because I thought that was the funniest thing ever. My profile picture was of the character Alfred from Mad, but in Obama form, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And I even had that as my Instagram profile at the time, though once again, we'll explain much further later. Chapter 5, the mini movie. Since I still miss the channel, and mostly the unnamed series, I decided to make plans for a remake called CDT Adventures, the mini-movie. I used an app called Flip-A-Clip to make the original storyboard before it got scrapped for being too long. Somewhere in the second half of 2016, I made early iterations which weren't shown until later, and even a teaser to announce the mini-movie. Later, trademark, because, I say that word a lot, I made 2 teaser trailers announcing the mini-movie, and I've sprinkled teaser images in my videos. Made an animation meme for the movie. Yeah, I made one animation meme because I really did like animation music. It was a dark time. A lot of us, we all make cringe-worthy stuff. It all happens. And you can just say, oh, I wasn't cringe, I was based. But I was a based kid. But come on. We all do cringe stuff. But besides that, I even had a page on my website for the movie to be announced, the mini-movie, I mean. Finally, it gets uploaded. Though it is a part of my history, I don't like it, and let me explain. The original premise was that there was going to be a guy in the dark hidden, like in the shadows, in the dark hidden beneath the shadows. That was created by that created the ghosts. I also had those early animations where I wake up and nobody's around in the city except my friends. So we drive around the city and come across a ramp which leads to the ocean. I then take a remote device that lets me fly, so I'm basically just leaving my friends behind, which takes me back to my apartment. I take a picture out of my wall and go and I hit a lab where it says it's not my lab. I bought it. Yeah. Because that was supposed to make up, I had a lab in the original shorts, like I said. But for this case, I had a poster that said, this isn't my lab. I bought it. It's just to make up that I'm not a genius. And I just bought the lab along with an apartment that was short in that animation. The hidden shadow guy comes in and steals a weapon from there, and then comes later that I suck the ghost with some kind of vacuum weapon. There's not much else here. I didn't like those animations, so I wanted to start over in 2017. And also, this was his original design. I have the animation on my phone, and in one of my drives, I think I downloaded it. But I forgot to archive this. Maybe it could be for a later iteration. It could be for a later archive dump, though I can't be for sure. I always just I'm gonna be doing this a lot. I hate this. I just hate how I talk a lot most of the time because I always slur my words wrong and it's painful. What? Okay. I was just checking something. Okay. I then made new progress on CDT Adventures, the movie. I also made the shadow guy into a new form, which will now be a black alien which he can transform and shapeshift. I think it took around 5 months to finish them all. I released it, I think, in November. I can recall it being in November 1st, to be exact. Or November 2nd. November 1st or 2nd. It was 10 minutes, and finally we can discuss this atrocity. After a while, I pretty much just said, you know what, I didn't really try at this, but let's get on with the story. It starts in a house where the alien guy makes something on his computer to take over the world for his home or something. It somewhat goes wrong where his computer explodes and the ghosts are made. The ghosts name themselves, red one being error, the blue one being warning ghost, the green one being virus ghost, and then there's anti-ghost, nightmare ghost fused into one, so they're the two-headed ghosts. And then there's pink ghost, though I think she didn't get to name herself. And error ghost just named her pink ghost, and yeah, she got mad. And they were never brought up again. I mean, they only get up like once or twice later, but they barely get any screen time. But and then cuts to me in a hotel/apartment where I'm watching TV until the news comes on and warns about the ghosts roaming out and about. Until one of the ghosts comes toward the cameraman and the station shuts off. It's when I immediately run outside. I look at the side of the city being empty, then go and find Francisco just so happening to be around the city, and then Elvin as well. We then hear a screech, which the alien guy is driving, except he's not, apparently, because I thought that'd be the coolest thing ever, like at the time, to be in a van and just like to be in the back, and then the car would basically drive itself. Like I'd have like a brick just stepping on the pedal, because it was just funny, and I thought it was cool at the time. So yeah. We chase after him only for him to use his shapeshift abilities to throw the car into a forest. Oh yeah, once we're in the sky, like when that alien guy threw us, I made this stupid joke where I say, Elvin, that car was actually a van. So yeah, I barely had much dialogue. Like I had a lot of very dumb dialogue in that mini movie. We then come across another friend, which, whatever. It was Rogelio. He was in House of the Dead, but we'll talk about that later. Trademark. We make small talk, and he talks about making a machine which will help us. Yeah, and that one scene, it was just basically one frame where I was just talking because I didn't want to animate mouth movements. That scene, yeah, I explain it here. We then go into an arcade to eat and find a stupid blonde guy, and I will explain some stuff about this character. He was in CDT Adventures, the movie Part 1, and throughout the years, ever since I wanted to have a comeback for that character, he's been my favorite character. I really like him. We then go into an arcade and we find this stupid blonde guy. We fall from the sky and find a car, to which Ellen crashes and says, "My bad." I still got it. I still have the voice from then, and I still got it now. My bad. I can still do that perfectly. I don't understand how my voice just doesn't age. It will definitely age within the years, but I still don't understand how I managed to have this voice still. I still got the voice. It then cuts to the alien dude and Aragos interacting, and then the alien showing off his robot for malicious purposes. He then takes off to the next city, to which Elvin sees it from afar. The next and final scene shows the robot and the alien talking about destroying the next city. Then it immediately gets destroyed by a 4,000-pound block. Yeah. We then are flying in a spherical ship like the one from CDT Adventures, like we're supposed to kind of know what it is. there was a lot of lore that I wanted to do for this series, but we fly in a spherical ship, which, if you can't tell by the way, we come from a portal out of everything. Like, I don't, it came from a purple portal, which I don't know why. And then I talk about how Virgilio saved the world and the humans and blah blah blah, and then finally, to put the cherry on top of the cake, it turns out to be all from the TV, which cuts to me and I say, wow, CDT Adventures sucks. So that's something. My thoughts and fun facts. First, I'll talk about why I hate this version of CDT Adventures. I didn't really try with this. I put here, I didn't try enough, but I just flat out didn't try. The animation was choppy. The audio was very low quality because I used iMovie. Oh yeah. And the interpolation of the video was kind of poorly thought out because I combined everything and I thought the video would be fine, but the interpolation of the video is very weird. Like, you're like seeing previous frames very slowly. It sucks. And I can remember the older deleted episodes having better audio, and it was just because it was louder. The story was rushed and poorly thought out, though. I mean, the original story was poorly thought out too. It's just, I didn't really try with this one, and just, I made fun of everything about it while having those qualities, which isn't making itself good for that reason. It's just a big joke and honestly a middle finger to the shorts on my part. Yeah, I just wrote that because, I mean, yeah, I just didn't try. I did not try. The original animations were a joke too. I mean, I was having fun with them. I was 12 and, I mean, they were my very first animations. I was still trying out new things, you know. And I wanted to make it. It was just like, oh, I wanted to make a short little series about my friend and going on adventures and random stuff, you know, having Minecraft adventures. But the thing about this one is that I don't think I wanted to make it. It's just because of the limited animation. And I mean, the only reason why I wanted to make it, so I'd say it's like I wanted to make it because of nostalgia, but I didn't want to make it because I had to put effort into it. But I didn't really put an effort. So basically, I just wanted to rush it while making this the ultimate comeback for CDT Adventures. This was gonna get a sequel where the alien guy grows bigger, and I even have a picture of it to show later. I'm hoping I think I put it in here. Yeah. There are more ghosts now. Basically, the alien dude grows himself bigger in the picture, and then a bunch more ghosts come. And then the AFP heroes come to fight, and then they fight him, and also we get superpowers too. And one of those videos that I explained, okay, it was one of the videos in 2018 where I said I'm not doing the animations anymore. I'm gonna cancel everything. And it's because, hold on. Family matters. But anyway, I was talking in this video where I canceled everything because, I mean, it's not worth it. I mean, I was basically doing work for nothing. Like, I was just making a sequel to this, and it's just, I didn't think it would be useful to life. I didn't think it would be useful to anything. I just kind of canceled them, and I didn't want to make the game anymore too. And the AFP Heroes sequel because of my subscriber count. And then I explained, and like the animation for CDT Adventures, that I made it with heart and soul. And and that was a lie. I was talking out of my own ass and I wanted to punch myself in the face for it. I really said that, edited the video, uploaded it, and kept it for a while. And then you look at the mini movie and just look at the sheer quality of it. Garbage. Also, another fun fact: pink ghost. It's not really a fun fact. This is just more of like a late thought. It's just kind of a thought when I was making the movie. Okay, pink ghost should have had a bigger role, but I mean, yeah, the ghost should have had a more bigger role in general. It was only shown or like told that, oh, the ghosts are deleting the humans and stuff, and like the city is empty, and we have to do something about it. Oh yeah, here we go. Bonus fact, yeah. Remember how I said some of the projects were supposed to have sequels? Where the mini movie is one of them, yeah. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, I basically just said that this was supposed to have a sequel twice, but yeah. This is how the mini movies poster used to look, and I think I posted this on my old DeviantArt, though I can't remember. But yeah, this was the old poster, and I made this back in 2017. I made this a really long time ago, and yeah, I was kind of an amateur at it, and I even have like an old logo that says CDT Animates there. With that out of the way, I thought I'd reach the end. I was semi-active on my DeviantArt page. Yeah, I had a DeviantArt. Okay, yeah, I already said that. And I also made an Instagram from 2017. I think it was just called Void. No, my last name was Void with Emptiness. My first name, I forgot what my name was. I don't know whether it was called Hardy Horror Man. I don't know. But I think that was my name in 2018. In 2021, I deleted my Instagram, my old Instagram, because it was just for a private reason. I had something personal going on, and I deleted it. I could go on about... I can talk about Instagram for a while, but maybe in the end. But yeah, okay, no. Maybe I'll explain further right now. After that personal thing that happened when I deleted my account, I made a new account on, like, I announced on my Void Productions Instagram, and I made, it was basically like a rant account, but then I deleted that in 2022. So I kind of just, yeah, I basically posted on my older Instagram. It was like the start of me using Instagram, and I posted memes and I guess some drawings and photos, like photography. I still have images of it, though I'm not gonna release it to the public, because I might release some drawings later on, though. I think you can find that on my DeviantArt, my older one. I don't think I'll release the photos because it's just my personal thing. But yeah, I had memes, photos, and some art. And for about a year, I wasn't really active on the channel anymore, and again, I was mostly focusing on school and barely doing much art. Art wasn't really much of a passion that I wanted to do back then. I mostly, yeah, it was the 2 videos I made with the shorter haircut, which you can see here, talking about my projects. And I'd occasionally make memes until 2019. And that year, I wanted to start again, or perhaps reboot my presence online. I wanted to be a more professional account, and wanted to make another channel and do animations. I thought of doing another reboot since 2018, and wanted to call myself Tonetron. I even made logos in Blender because I thought that'd be cool. It looks like a 2014 Minecraft intro or something. Like, this is something that you may see in a Call of Duty Black Ops video before the video starts. But then, a year later, in the summer of 2019, I came back with a new professional-looking name and presence. Chapter 6, a reboot. I decided to call myself Void Productions. Why so? Well, I like stuff from the past, like 90s past. But I also really liked CGI from the 90s, like how PlayStation 1 cover graphics and FMVs used to look. I got inspired from a logo called Hasbro Interactive, and there was my inspiration. I took some shapes and put a portal in the back, and there's my logo. I wish I could have showed it here, but I didn't. There was a channel that really sparked my interest at the time, Digilux Recreational Video, which was another main inspiration of the channel's original purpose. It was a channel dedicated to posting CG videos reminiscent of the 90s. It took part of me making the channel and switching from CDT Animates to that into the new channel. And I even made an announcement video for the older channel to announce my new channel. I at one point uploaded some of the older videos from the time, but I deleted them, and I put most of my older works into the archive dumps. I did also announce a new project in the works. I was originally gonna make my videos in Blender, like I was gonna make like CGI videos like Digilux, though unfortunately those thoughts couldn't last. Because I wanted to return to a project which would be a start for a rocky era for me, so I'll explain. What the hell? Sorry for the interruption, it's just my phone likes to vibrate for no reason. It just likes to interrupt me for useless stuff. Okay. In short, I wanted to return to doing CDT adventures again, but not making a mini movie, but a whole movie. I started where I made a storyboard in Animation Creator HD, where I introduced two new characters, Voider and Number 49. And Voider is the leader of a black alien group in which they don't have names but are numbered. The number is chosen to be number 49 and has to take over Earth somehow. And yeah, these are the storyboards. I got a majority of them, but the rest of the plot would be that number 49 would make the ghosts with some coding skills, and then he'd fly around his ship to delete the population. So me and my friends had to stop them. And then number 49 later on in the movie teleports us to a Minecraft dimension, also the AFP Heroes dimension for a brief moment, or Minecraft version of me makes us do errands for him until we find an end portal to go back to our dimension. Then Voider turns big and tries to kill us, but another purple alien takes him. He's called the King Voider. Fun fact, I kind of lost some of the images. I don't know what happened to them. I think I had most of them, but they got lost. I like when I was trying to put them in another folder. I guess I may have forgotten to archive some of them. I think I did have all of them, but then I lost them somehow. I don't know what happened. They could be floating around my drives, though. I don't know. I lost some of the images, but I know basically what happens in the movie if I were to watch it. I uploaded it on YouTube at one point, but I deleted it. Yeah. I had it on YouTube, but I deleted it. And I felt like that was a mistake on my part, because I didn't archive that video. But another fun fact, I was originally gonna have 2 copyrighted songs, and the first one was "You're the Best Around," and the second one, I forgot the name, but it was an 80s synth song, I remember. And then here's a bonus fact. I made a really crude poster that was experimental for me at the time, where I had to draw the picture without line art. So yeah, this was original. This was an original poster for CDT Adventures, the movie. And also, here's Virgilio. He was in this movie too. But yeah, this was a really, really ugly photo because, firstly, I mean, it was really amateurish and you could barely see it, like what's going on in certain details of the picture. But yeah, it's a very simple drawing, but I don't know. It ain't that good. And also, here's the micro version of me, though. He doesn't really have that much to do with the plot. And also, there's Voider number 49, the ghosts. And also in the movie, okay, here's a fun fact that I'll tell you now. Another fun fact. Oh yeah, also, my leg is weirdly bent, you know. I guess I wasn't that good with proportion. I guess that's why it looks a little weird. Like, this leg looks really big for some reason, or it could just be the perspective, I don't know. But shit, I forgot. Fuck. But I wanted to include a scene where we would take a truck and attach fireworks on it. I wanted to do that since the creation of this iteration of the movie. But I finally get to do that for the Christmas special, so that's something. So yeah, that's really good. Shortly in the end of the year, the storyboard was scrapped. Why so? Well, in August of 2019, I wanted to make a comic of past events of CDT Adventures and how it got to the state of where it is. I even made a concept page with the original logo, as you can see, as well as the banner for Tapas, and also Webtoon. Oh wait, no, this was for Tapas only. I forgot. This is just how it looked. For the, and it was also the CDT Adventures logo. Let me tell you, when I created this comic, it's a really convoluted plot, and it's more convoluted than both CDT Adventures cartoons. It's a comic with so much lore, it's gonna take as many pages as the mini-movies explanation and the 2015 shorts combined. This is where some of you may or may not find this interesting, because I'm gonna summarize the plot, so strap in. If you want to read it without me explaining it, you can. You can't find it on Webtoons and Tapas anymore because I deleted it, but it is on my old DeviantArt. You just have to search up Void Productions 279 on DeviantArt, and then you can find a folder where it's named CDT Adventures the Past. But fun facts before we get into the plot, which I'll give you this right now. It's caused me stress since for a long time. So, this was the original cover image. I was going to use this originally, but it just, I didn't want to. Also, like, these were the original designs. I was going to have a lighter jacket, and Francisco and Elvin's design were they were fine, but their eyes were off because, I don't know, they just had those beady, and they had more beady eyes than the stick eyes that I was used to making. But yeah, let's get into everything. So, Chapter 7, the Past comic. Yeah. So, we get introduced to Voider, a voidling alien species. Oh yeah, before we get into that, I'm going to slur my words a lot. Like, I'm going to mispronounce shit, and I'm going to have to correct myself a lot. Yeah, get used to that. So, yeah, see what I mean? We get introduced to Voider, who is a voidling alien species who isn't like the others. He shows off his gun that he built to his ruler, King Voider, but he doesn't appreciate it. Voider snaps and tells the other voidlings that they can do stuff without him. So Voider tells them that they'll take over the planet. They'll take over a planet by escaping and heading to a ship which is the sphere ship, by the way. You can go and see it on my DeviantArt page. Yeah. If you go on my DeviantArt page while reading this, it'll make a lot more sense. They later find the planet Earth, in which they settle on. Also, another thing to point out is that King Voider doesn't really appreciate Voider much. It was kind of the reason why Voider snapped and wanted to go on with his own way, at the same time getting others with him. Issue 2. We get introduced to Anthony laying on the couch while watching TV, until he finds the aliens on the streets, with a tank in the way. A character, John, berates him. He's in the military, and he has a lot of interesting stuff going on, but they berate the aliens to get off the street and their planet before he does something. He takes action, so Anthony heads outside to see, which is my first instinct. But they disappear. He goes to his friends, Francisco and Elvin, to tell them about it. Later, chaos happens, and John seemed to have killed all the aliens, but not Voider. Issue 3. Something happened after the alien war. It may have snowed a bunch in the city. Anthony wakes up and finds his friends, and they've said that Elvin said, I happened to find Elvin, and then Elvin explains that Voider used a device that poured a bunch of snow in the city. Or either that, I don't know. I can't really say for sure what exactly happened. It was either that Voider may have blew up a part of the city and then it got abandoned until winter, or I don't know. But then we go and find Francisco, and then Francisco has the gun that Voider used, so we go and do that. We explain that we have to hide from the alien. We have to we're talking about the gun, and then Voider comes and tries to get the gun from us, and then I force Francisco to give him it so we can head out of that situation with the Voider. But then he bites back and threatens the group. He threatens us, so Francisco and Elvin get mad at me, and then I run away. Issue 4. The group gets tuckered out from all the chasing and happen to find a convenience store, in which they meet another character, Rosa. She is in the military group as well, and also figuring out what to do about the aliens. They also meet John, which shocks the main gang, but he so happens that it was actually his twin brother. Voider interrupts the conversation by trying to get in, but they escape through the back and they get into a jeep. They thought they escaped, but Voider manages to catch up. Issue 5. Voider gets punched by John off of a building, but rescues himself with the ship. They all go into a shelter for a night, but Francisco finds all of John's robot clones, which so happens they get possessed. They then try to find weapons to destroy them, but Rosa finds that Francisco's hair, his freakishly long hair, would do the trick. They find Voider and John's clone robot suits and explains what he'll do before Francisco bonks Voider in the head with a baseball bat. Him and Rosa celebrate before a strange device teleports them somewhere. Issue 6. They happen to teleport into Voider's ship in a cell, so they escape through the vents. It surprisingly takes hours, but they find a room with some weird purple food. They stay there until they go through the vents again, until they find themselves in space. And then there's this joke that Francisco couldn't be able to breathe in space, and then Rosa explains, "Dude, you can breathe in space." And then Francisco says, "How?" And then she says, "It's just logic, dude. You know, it's CDT Adventures logic. You can be able to breathe in space." So yeah. So Voider finds out and chases after Francisco until he heads Voider, which makes him find his base. They celebrate once again and take Voider's ship to head back to Earth. Oh shit. Issue 7, Elvin and Anthony get curious about Francisco and Rosa, so they take the jeep and find them in the city. The ship lands right where they are, and it seems like everything's fine and dandy. But Rosa goes into a mysterious place to find a gun that may deal with a Voider. She tests it out, which works like Voider's gun, but accidentally makes a hole, but finds a weird blue room with John in the center. Issue 8. Voider tests out a mind-controlling device to control John, and he attacks the group, until Anthony pushes him off. This makes Rosa snap because she was a friend of hers. John tries to come back with the jetpack, but Rosa goes on top of him and kicks him to the ground, which also makes the jetpack fly to where Voider was controlling him, which destroys everything. Also, Rosa snaps again and she starts crying because she got out of hand and she might have killed John. But he wakes up, but Anthony and Elvin kind of get bewildered of how John, like how he doesn't die. But he explains that he used a cloning machine. So everybody's talking about Voider now, and then all of a sudden, a strange man greets him. Greets all of them. Issue 9. Cutting back to King Voider, he takes a vacation in a fake beach until he gets a call from the God of Galaxies, or GOG for short. He tells him that he has a meeting to attend, which is for the Galaxy Champions, which is basically like my very own superhero squad kind of thing. When he gets there, he's told that he's failed to take care of his planet and that he's failed as a ruler. If he has tons of X's, then the planet will be destroyed. But one of the members tell him that he stole GOG's planets by using gadgets he stole. GOG says he's broken too many rules and he shall be sent to Okna before King Voider messes with his rulebook and escapes. This makes GOG so mad that he calls a hitman to track him. Yeah, this was my least favorite issue. Sorry if I'm fidgeting with my stuff right now. I'm just bewildered with how I managed to make such an issue, you know? Like, holy shit. So much wrong. First off, what is Okna? Secondly, what? Is this a quiz? Like, did I fail a quiz and now have my planet is gonna be destroyed? Yeah, and also, King Voider, like, he was a part of the Galaxy Champions, and he stole a planet by using some gadgets. That's weird. But anyway, issue 10, the Hitman Zen tells the story of the last issue to everyone. Afterward, they go and find Voider destroying the city. We all then, including Zen, track him down immediately. They all fire with an identical weapon at him, and he evaporates to nothingness. Or so does he. Voider made some sort of clone of himself and escapes once again. Issue 11. King Voider is in a ship where he goes back to his planet, to which he finds everyone gone. The Galaxy Champions track him down, and one of the members, Nia and Rain, try to figure out why he came here. Then they happen to find a huge storage room, and Rain explains a sacred orb that may happen to be in the very planet that they're on. Turns out Rain's right, because King Voider finds a cracked orb. The Galaxy Champions escape, and King Voider goes to find a place called the Fixer Upper Store. The guy who works there knows about the ancient orb, which he so happens to fix. But he planned on keeping it before King Voider kills him. Issue 12. Voider goes back to the same spot from issue 2 and resurrects everyone with a gadget that can bring anyone back to life. They're scared and wonder how they got brought back to life. before King Voider comes back, not with the power of the orb. He also explains, but with the power of the orb, that he can make any wish he wants. He plans on taking over Earth since he's there, but Voider didn't want that. But one of the other Voidlings says that he's a terrible leader, which changes King Voider's mind again. Everyone finds King Voider, but now with more power, and Zen knew what he saw. He knew what happened to King Voider, which led him to leave Earth. And also, I forgot to mention, his wish in the issue was to evaporate all of human life. And Zen has happened to leave. Issue 13. Zen tells Gog that King Voider has the orb, to which shocks him. Zen brings up that one of the Galaxy Champions members' mom, Pixie, has another orb, or a couple more orbs, in the planet Zana. They head there and find Pixie's home, where they go into her place to find her sleeping. She wakes up and gets angry that Gog is here because of an ancient accident involving a flying pizza truck that hits her home. She tells him to leave and throws the old pizza back at him. This was the most random and dumb episode. This was the dumbest episode, really. Issue 14. While King Voider is making wishes for himself, just useless wishes, like eating a giant burger, even though he's a god. I mean, does he need to eat? Does he have hunger? Voider happens to find the base that John and the rest of the military go into. He goes in to steal a bunch of weapons, including chips used to power John's clone robots. Meanwhile, Zen and Gog figure out what to do about the orbs. When Gog gets an idea of where the orbs are stored, it happens to be in an infinite maze, and they get lost in there for a while. Pixie tracks them and tries to hunt them down. When they find the orbs, Pixie finds them and uses her bow to attack them before Gog explains that they need him to save Earth. Pixie obliges with his plan and helps him out. And here's the final mess of the comic. Issue 15, the final and longest issue. And I think in Webtoons I had to split this into 4 parts because I don't know whether it was in either Tapas or Webtoon. I think it was a Webtoon. Yeah, but this is the final and longest issue. Voider is seemingly done with his plan since King Voider accomplished that. Since he's a god now, he can take a nap before Gog and Pixie immediately come to attack King Voider and hold back his power. Voider does something about it, but nothing works, and gets attacked in the process. King Voider gets angrier, gets to a stronger form, but Zen attacks him in the orb center, which is his weak spot. He then gets into, actually, this is more like his second form, not his final form. That was a complete accident on myself. He gets into his red form, which is like his second form, and he attacks Zen. Pixie brings up that Gog needs to bring, he needs to wish humans back to life, and he does so. This spawns in the main gang, along with John and Rosa. Anthony, Francisco, and Elvin put a stop to Voider's plan once and for all. So the main gang, they go and find Voider, and John and Rosa deal with King Voider. Once the gang gets on top of Voider's ship, they have a brawl up before Francisco pulls out his sword after all this time. So he just all of a sudden transforms into his, he has more poofier hair. He gets his jacket, and he chops off Voider's legs, which frankly he could have done that he could have done that a while ago. Meanwhile, John and Rosa go back to the private base to pull out a war vehicle for this kind of situation. And they full-on used it to fly and crash into King Voider's center orbit. Yeah, the vehicle they used, it was like a ultimate military vehicle where it could fly. And they used it to attack King Voider's center orb. Francisco also takes a shot of attacking him using his sword. Finally, Zen gets back up on his feet and takes the final blow, thus killing King Voider. Before Pixie leaves, Anthony makes one final wish, which is to bring everything back to normal and tip-top shape, and ends with the main gang sitting in the TV like an issue to, like I was doing. And finally, Voider happens to land in an oil factory and sees his legs and all his blood spilling out. He rants about the humans until a mysterious creature touched him. He happens to find a bunch of black oily creatures all around him and finds that one of those chips has the sacred power of absorbing liquid and forming into a human-like robot thing. So yeah, this was kind of like a late thought-out thing. Or, like, I thought of this since a couple issues ago, that the chips that Voider used can be able to power, like, it could be able to transform a liquid, like water, into a human-like figure. Yeah, I just thought it was cool. So Voider could be able to have a second chance to take over Earth once again. He trained them until those oily robot creatures thought that they could be able to take on humanity, but unsurprisingly, they failed. John destroys all the oily robot things, and Voider sees the last of them before calling him before the communication disconnects. Like, there was like a thing that I used in CD Tip, like it was a similar looking machinery, like a piece of chip, which it was like a communicational device that I made. So Voider sees the last of them before, like, he was like one of the last robots they were calling him before the communication device disconnects. So Voider fails once again and is checking on how many robots have died, except for one, which so happens to be number 49. Yeah, I knew that was gonna be I know that was gonna be a pain to talk about, but I know that nobody read CDT Adventures Past, so that's why I had to explain it. Yeah, that was a long and tough explanation, but anyway, fun facts. During development, I made different plans with King Voider, so that's why I scrapped the first storyboard with the movie, because King Voider was supposed to be like a friendly leader. I thought the character Zen was such a special character and great character. I thought he'd have a different font. Just thought it was cool. Even though I made a group of heroes for their planets, which I would later call the Galaxy Champions, I never really put them to use, except for Nia and Rain. And I guess the God Cloud character. Yeah, most of the characters in like the Galaxy Champions, they suck. That's why I had to delete most of them out of existence, because they don't deserve to have any sort of like. But yeah, I never really put them to use. I only really used them, like, I'd say like once or none, and it wasn't really for like heroic purposes, so it felt kind of a waste to have them there. It felt like they weren't really fully fleshed out as developed characters yet. Yeah, it's because I ended the comic early, and then I immediately move on to doing the movie. I changed some designs for the characters, especially the polygonal looking character. I even posted a teaser image back in 2021. It was supposed to be like, this is supposed to be a return to form. I made like different characters here, and so on Instagram of the character silhouettes. I even made a different character I even made a different style for another character, Rosa, just with a different shirt and hairstyle. And I might go with that, though I'm not sure. I made concept art of that a while ago, back in 2020. And I made new concept art for... We'll talk about it later. Trademark. Some characters were done for good reason. I didn't like their design, nor did they have more than like one use, and I just didn't like them. Yeah, I hated how God's design looked and the furry blue thing's design. Here is like a teaser of what it looks like, though. I mean, I might change that later on. I don't know, depending. King Voider was originally one of the Galaxy Champions before he got sick of the group before pulling a stunt during a meeting and leaving. Because he fell on taking care of his planet, and then he gets out by pulling off that prank of kind of sabotaging GOG's rulebook. The same issue is my least favorite because the rules of planets having to be they have to be cared before they get destroyed is dumb. Also, I never really explained what Ogna is. I didn't really have much. I had a lot to explain, but I never explained most stuff. I like the Thomas character so much that I want to put him for another project someday. In general, the whole premise of the comic is dumb, and not in a way I find funny. The story had a bunch of bad lines, wasted characters, and badly written plots that seemed like a fever dream, just like the mini-movie and, I mean the older shorts, but that was more excusable because I was still making, like, it was my first animations. But yeah. I mean, it could have made more sense if I wanted to have, like, more serious plot, but it feels like I just did whatever I want with the plot, like with the mini-movie. So I was just kind of, for the comic, basically, I was just making up stuff going along for each issue. Also, the meme faces, if you look in the comic on my DeviantArt, in some issues, like I'd say the third issue, there was a lot of memey faces, and I do not miss those times. I really don't. I really don't think they were funny. A lot of the comics the comic background characters look really ugly and bad, that they could pass off as an AI generated looking guy. And over time I thought the grainy backgrounds looked ugly. So yeah. Hopefully that's the end of the comic, but moving on. Chapter 8, The Beginning of Madness. What a title. But anyway, when I was doing the comic around past issue 6, I started on development on CDT Adventures, the movie. It started when I made a test animation where Voider was talking about training his felt subjects. This was made using Toon Boom, a really advanced program for animators, which, ever since I started using Toon Boom, I can't go back. I really can't. It's way too useful. Afterwards, real progress began. It took 5 long months to get used to Toon Boom, getting used to the UI, getting better at the animation, and just figuring out the story, etc., etc. Yeah, it took 5 long months to do the whole animation from December to May, I think. I think it was May. The outcome was pretty good when it came out, though that would change later on. I'll talk about some. Okay, let me explain the plot for it. Let me explain the plot first. The story for part 1 was that Voider sends number 49 back to Earth. So it basically begins right after where CDT Adventures the Past ended. So yeah, there's that. So basically, the short version here is that Voider sends number 49 to Earth and gets in trouble by a guy with a uniform, Zack, and gets caught by security and everybody wants him dead. Also, he gets trapped in a bag in the end. So yeah, I guess that's all I can explain. Also, yeah. Here is where I'll get into some gripes with this. Okay, I used 4K backgrounds to do this. I wanted to make this the highest quality product there was. 4K quality. And yeah, and it was gonna be all hand drawn. No tweening. I mean, some tweening, but mostly hand drawn. And it took a long time. 5 months for 5 minutes. And I mean, it's just, I'd say it's not worth it for this kind of project. So I split the movie into 7 parts, part 1 through 7. Part 1 being released on May of 2020. Then, shortly after, I began working on a script for the movie. Unfortunately, you won't see it because I want to keep it private for now because, I mean, sorry if I have to say this if you really want to, like, until later on, you won't see what it's actually about, but I'll explain further. Yeah, I don't want to explain the plot for CDT Adventures, the movie, like what I've had then. So after I got done with the script, I began progress on part 2, and it took quite a while, and it was smooth sailing until it didn't in 2021. I had some problems. Okay, so fun fact, I was so proud when I got this guy in my animation, because I thought, like, how he delivered the lines were so funny that it didn't matter that if I wanted to change some lines, I still wanted to keep the lines because it was so funny. Like, I changed some of number 49's lines because I just thought, I could do better, I could execute the scene better. I was doing this a bunch of times from even, like, last year. But, moving on. Also, I thought this scene was the funniest shit ever. Chapter 9, Reinventing Things Again. This was a point where things got messy. I started to dislike the plot of the scripts and overall started to dislike the past comic. There was just way too many thoughts in my head and I wanted to start over yet again. And here's why I became mad, like crazy mad. I downloaded Toon Boom Storyboard, though that wasn't a bad thing, but I wanted to make a concept for another movie. Or in this case, a movie adaptation. CDT Adventures The Past. Yeah, I was going to make CDT Adventures The Past into a movie. Yeah. I feel like I was wasting time reinventing stuff than making actual progress on the movie, but I decided to lean into that now. Basically, it was CDT Adventures The Past, but reinvented into a movie. No wasted characters, and it was a little more serious now. Though, I only got into the 40-minute mark when I was making the storyboard and... Oh yeah, by the way, in 2022, I kind of abandoned the storyboard for a bit, and then I tried to get back to it, and I got 3 more minutes in, but then my storyboard's corrupted. So yeah, that was fun. Afterward, I've been stressing out about how the rest of the movie would go until I eventually turn away from it for reasons. From here, I'd lean into making projects that made me end up quitting and canceling a lot of them. So here we go. I wanted to do a sequel to CDT Adventures the movie where it'd be like I would have all the characters from the comic, or in this case, the past movie adaptation, and the main movie all into one scenario. I had a plan to do a series, CDT Adventures, to do a CDT Adventures series with 13 episodes, including one with number 49. I had plans to make CDT shorts based off one character per episode. So one would be number 49, and then episode 2 would be me, and then episode 3 would be Francisco. I've tried to remake the movie storyboard countless times. Yeah, from 2016, 2017, though I didn't make a storyboard, I kind of just went along, like with the animation, like how it was. Okay, for the process of the 2017 version, the mini movie, I was just basically like what saying what lines and then animating it. I didn't even write a script. I kind of just thought up in my head what I could say, and then I kind of just animating it. Like, I was just animating it on my iPad, just kind of lip syncing the animation, and then I do it on iMovie last, I think. Yeah. And then 2019, where I made a storyboard, and then 2020 was where I wrote the scripts, and then 2021 I was gonna. Oh, I forgot to mention, I made a video where I was gonna combine the past comic, the movie adaptation, and then the main movie into one movie. Yeah, I was not thinking straight. I was just saying stuff. But yeah, I made the movie storyboard countless times, and yeah, once again I'm gonna say this. I tried to remake the movie. Okay, I think I went back into making the storyboard again back around like 2021 for the main movie, and then in 2023. Yeah. There was also some other stuff to count, but those are one of the culprits I could think of as of now. But I mean, there is another one. There is another project that I kind of want to talk about. Bonus thingy. Around 2021, I decided to reopen my CDT Animates account and re-upload some of my videos in there, and even upload an announcement video. I even renamed it back to CDT Animates, but that was short-lasted, so I deleted everything again and called it Blink. Chapter 10, Seasonal Specials. Back around 2021, I wanted to make people have a little treat for Christmas, just so that they could wait for the movie. Around November of that year, I announced on my Instagram that if they would like to see a CDT Adventures Christmas special, and some said yes. I didn't think straight that day, because I thought of that idea way too late, and back in November of 2021. And to make things worse, I only made the storyboard all through December. So yeah. There was also another thing I worked on during the movie. There was also another thing I worked on which took time from doing the movie. Back in 2022, my friend made posters for me for CDT Adventures and had Genesis at the left. I questioned to him what that meant, and he said it meant the beginning. But the problem is that he also put the past on there too. So it went like this: Genesis, past, present, future. Because I was planning on doing the movie, like the past comic adaptation, like the movie adaptation for CDT Adventures the Past, the main movie, and I was planning on doing a sequel because, I was mad and I can't think straight with stuff, and I was really doing stuff for the movie. I got confused, so we had a conversation of what Genesis could be, which led to being the school origin story. Yeah, the origins of how we met in school. It took quite a while to get it done, and what really got me insane was that Toon Boom Storyboard corrupted all my storyboard files once again. I explained a couple minutes ago, but yeah, I lost everything, so I started over again. And by the way, the first iteration of the first storyboard for the school origin story was that, or in this case, CDT Adventures Genesis, was that the original storyboard for before it got corrupted was 40 minutes, so I basically lost a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I started over again, and it took a couple months to finish, but I got it done. The storyboard won't be shown, and the plot won't be shown. Just basically a lot of stuff won't be shown. But maybe someday, if I'm willing to come back to the idea, maybe it'll happen. I just don't know when. I don't know whether it might happen. But other than that, I've done nothing, kinda. Like, I didn't really do much. I guess I was making a storyboard for the movie, but I don't remember what happened from 2021 until, well, actually no, 2022. Yeah, I meant 2022. But okay, moving on. Until one day in October of 2022, me and my friend, Francisco, had a talks about doing a zombie episode where we kill zombies. I thought that'd be a really cool idea, and because I didn't want to just sit around Halloween all day, I thought I'd do something productive and make a Halloween special. Though if it's gonna be released on Halloween, then I need a way to make the process of animating faster. I've been thinking for a while of what I'd like to call the tweening method, or in this case flash tweening, or just tweening. I've done it before, way back around since 2021. I've tested animations like this. I have more technically, but I don't think they were saved as videos. But there's also, there's an example of me from 2021 where I was walking. I uploaded this back on Instagram back then, but I archived it, and it's on my archive dump. And now I have another animation here. It's basically like one of the characters from Genesis. He punches the little guy. And I uploaded this on my Instagram story, and I uploaded this on my TikTok. Yeah, I had a TikTok account, and I had it up until this, like a couple months ago. I had to unlist some stuff, and also I had to delete a lot of videos because most of my videos weren't really they didn't have any traction whatsoever. I still got some of them archived on my Instagram stories. I uploaded some TikToks on my Instagram story, though I may upload one, but I can't be for sure. But the reason why I privated some of my TikTok videos along with my TikTok videos, and then I deleted privated, was because, not enough traction, and then there's also a private reason which I won't say here. Took me long enough to say that, but I've been working my butt off with some breaks, which kind of cost me a bit to work on the special. Unfortunately, though, I didn't quite get it on time. I didn't quite get it on time. I took breaks because of stress, and then I just needed breaks. I took a lot of time from when I was doing animation because, I needed time off of my computer, and I was kind of pumping myself to get it done, but I got it hours after Halloween, but no stress was had after I uploaded it, which is what I did. Which is what I did. It turned out to be my favorite CDT Adventures project at the time. The premise was that me, Francisco, Elvin, and Rogelio go on a quest to find candy in an abandoned house filled with zombies, but we all got turned into zombies. Yeah, that's the premise. So that meant I can work on the Christmas special, right? Well, not exactly, because I took almost a month of me taking a break after working on the Halloween special, and then after my break, I think around November 28th, I decided to actually start working on it, and I announced it on TikTok too. I have that video saved. Last year, it was supposed to be the year I actually get it done. I had my time to shine again, but unfortunately all I can say is that I had to deal with a private situation for a while. It affected development and ultimately got me to lose interest in the project, so I missed the deadline again. Things aren't really going to go up here from there, though. Chapter 11, Uneventful Year. So since I didn't really succeed in getting the Christmas special done, I might just take a break from my channel for a bit. No harm in that. I did want to return to working on it and getting it done, and I would even have it renamed to Clone Chaos, because, okay, it's just because I wanted to release it somewhere that wasn't in Christmas, because, I mean, technically it was still winter, so, I mean, it would be okay. I mean, as long as I get it done before March, because, I mean, it's still winter, I could still get it done, right? But no. It was still technically a Christmas special, because I planned that since 2021, and we mentioned the word tree, Christmas tree, and Christmas lights, and stuff like that. Like, come on. Really, it was a Christmas special. Yeah, but ultimately it didn't work. But then, the thoughts of my old channel were starting to channel into my thoughts, and it didn't help with the situation I had in 2022. Around February, I decided to upload the progress I made with the Christmas special and just announced that I'm done, and I just would call it quits with my channel. I'm just gonna abandon it and just take a break for a bit. I had some other personal problems which didn't help. So, yeah, I won't talk about that. For the rest of a couple months, I did just that. Nothing. Then, me and my closest friend started talking again. And we often have talks about my projects in our school lives, which put me in a positive light. That was enough to make an announcement live stream on Instagram that I wanted to come back, but I made it in the wrong time. Unfortunately, I had another private situation with one of my other friends, which, let's just say that, like, there was just a case where, like, that just led to us splitting apart, but it was a huge case for me that it would have changed CDT Adventures, but I wasn't gonna let my guard down. I took my chin up and uploaded a video announcing that I'll be coming back. I've talked plans about the movie, a game which I won't talk about here, which is Project Zen, and I was even talking about CDT Adventures past possibly getting a movie. Then I made 2 videos which I will say I think that they're important. Void's archived up volume 1 and 2. Not only did I re-upload my older videos from the past, but I also took my flip notes and converted them into high quality for all to see, because I had uploaded them back in 2016, but I recorded it from my phone at the time, so I was gonna have that uploaded, but I didn't want to have a low quality. I didn't want to have it archived like that, so there was a website that could be able to successfully convert the flip notes into HD, and I put them all in Sony Vegas, and that's how they're now archived. But anyway, the thought striked back. The thought, god damn it! I said that wrong, and now the moment's ruined. But yeah, whatever, the thoughts strike back. Chapter 12, the end. The thoughts of my old channel got worse. Why did I ever delete them? For what purpose? They were all that I thought about. I know it wasn't very good, but they were there for me, and I got rid of it. Eventually, the thoughts got so bad that it led me to make the devastating announcement on Instagram, and also here, which you can see, of me quitting the movie, which I still stick by to this day. I'm never gonna make something like that, right? Like, okay, no. It's just because the movie was just way too ambitious, and I just think, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. You know, like I said in 2000, okay. I should have listened to myself, because in that video in 2018, I said that, like, it's not worth it to make such an ambitious project when I don't really have much of an audience. And I also said that if you're really wanting to start on animation, do small projects like animation memes or something like that, like small animation tests. But I didn't listen to myself and wanted to do something more ambitious. But yeah, I made this announcement, which I wanted to quit the movie. I said that the thoughts got bad and I just didn't want to stick with doing this thing like this ambitious for so long, because yeah, nostalgia really can hurt, especially when you delete stuff. But for me to think about it for this long, almost 10 years since they were deleted, eventually I'm gonna have to let it go. And I did say that I could make it into a shorter version, but I couldn't have the nerve to do the movie anymore. I've lost the interest and I would like to move on, which, again, I still stick by. But, fortunately, I did get back up on my feet and I finished the Christmas special. I actually started back in March of 2023, then August, and then I actually started to return to development back in November through December. I finished before Christmas Day. Like, I uploaded it on the 20th of December. Yeah. So, what's there to do now? Besides sitting like a rock, there's still some things that may be worth doing. Like I've said before, my game project Zen is going to be for another day. I would still like to see how that goes. I announced on the first part of CDT Adventures the movie that the movie, along with CDT Adventures the Past, will no longer be canon. Yeah, that, and also CDT Adventures the movie. And I want to plan on doing something simpler in the future. So, while I don't want to do the movie anymore, I don't necessarily want to quit the concept. I do want to finish what was deleted even after all these years later, believe it or not. But I won't make it into a movie. When I made that announcement back in September, I had thoughts of making the original CDT Adventures shorts in the exact way I remember, like with how I Survived 7 Nights video, like the FNAF video was made. But unfortunately, it's been so long since they were deleted that I can't remember most of it. So, I decided to give the concept a similar treatment like I made the seasonal specials. But here are some details that might interest you, or at least these are the only details that I'll give you. This may be the final CDT Adventure short. Either that or the school special, depending on my mood. I still cannot be for certain whether I'm gonna continue on with the CDT Adventures stuff, because, I sticked on with it for so long that, I like the concept for CDT Adventures, but, I want to move on. I want my friends to move on. I can't just... I don't want to stick with the concept anymore, because, we want to move on. I want to move on. They want to move on. I just... we're getting older. We're in our 20s. But I do still want to end this with a bang. So, another thing I want to point out is that it's going to be another retelling of the older shorts from 2015, the 2017 remake, and the lore era, as I called it, from 2019 to 2020. This will have familiar elements from the comic and the cancelled movie, though some characters will be scrapped or they'll be repurposed for another project. So, yeah. So, be prepared for something coming this month. Who knows when, but, it could come this month. Maybe. So, yeah. That's everything. hope you had a good look at everything. I've wanted to work on something like this since 2021, and it was gonna actually be a proper video, like not a live stream, but a proper video back in 2021. But that got scrapped, and here's the thumbnail for it. I enjoyed making this presentation about myself, and I am so glad I made something like this after all this time, a proper history, if you will, you know. I am so glad that I got this sort of thing done, and I just, you know, I've gone my history out before with the archive dumps, but yeah, it's done. The presentation's done. So there's that. So yeah, another thing I want to point out is that I did make some animations. Like I did make 2 animations based off 2 video games that I liked at the time, and then I made an animation based off Francisco. So yeah. But other than that, I'm just so glad I made this video live stream, because yeah, my history matters, and I really wanted to tell you everything about my story. And whoever watches this video, I hope you enjoyed it, maybe except with all the hiccups I've had explaining everything, but I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I could be able to see you in my next and maybe final adventure. Who knows when it'll come out, but I will say, I don't know, it'll be announced like somewhere this month. I can't be for sure when, but yeah, let's just say it'll be coming out this month. Well, not the whole thing, but like a teaser will be coming out this month. I can't be for sure when. What's going on with the announcement? I don't know. But yeah, I am fulfilled, and I'm hoping you enjoyed it. And I'll see you on my next adventure, and I'll see you later.